Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears.
Hi guys. Sorry, I forgot my headset. Yeah, I'm trying to get that in real quick. Oh, some days are fun, you know?
I know. Some days are just horrid.
It says it's pairing. Why isn't it pairing? Oh, because I'm a dummy. I forgot a thing. Sorry, I keep moving it back and forth between devices.
Uh-huh.
And then I forget every time I come back to the computer that I have to delete it before it'll take it again.
Yeah. That happens often.
Yay, now you're, in my ear, not the booming voice of God from my computer.
I would prefer to be both in your ear and the booming voice of God.
No.
Huh?
No.
Hello, Brenda. How are you, darling?
Hi, Brenda. Yeah.
How are you liking the new hoodie weather? Because it is hoodie season in the bear den.
For you.
Uh-huh. For many other bears.
We don't have a wind chill factor of negative anything yet. I'm still good.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yes. Yeah. You like our hoodies. We are much more hoodie bared.
I'm surprised though. You went for the black one, not the fluorescent yellow one.
It doesn't go with the shirt.
It didn't go with the shirt.
Yellow one.
Honey, it doesn't normally go with anything you wear when you wear it.
Yeah, it does.
The only thing it goes with is a sign that says slow or stop. Oh, y'all don't know how long I've been waiting to make that one.
That's all right. I'm thinking a nice 6-carat anytime now.
Hey, that was my joke earlier, all right?
I know, and I've corrected. I took it.
Mm-hmm. You did. Oh, gosh. Oh, too funny.
I don't know what to do with you. I really don't.
What?
I don't know what to do with you at times.
Come on, my joke earlier was hilarious.
Uh-huh. Sure it was.
Okay, we'll put it to the audience. Okay, so he's in that lovely time of year where he goes from heat to cold to heat. And this, of course, causes him to start coughing like he may not, breathe again.
Uh-huh.
And, so I told him to choose life. We had just had dinner. And he's like, not even really the problem. I've just had dinner. I'm trying not to, get sick in your car. And I'm like, well, if I have to choose between you getting sick in my car and getting a diamond, I was like, I don't really know where I was going with that, but I really think I could rock 6 carats.
Right.
Now, what do y'all think? Isn't that hilarious? I thought it was hilarious. Cruel, but hilarious.
No.
I don't say I wasn't cruel. It was cruel.
Ooh, Brenda's got a baby Yoda as a hermit card hoodie.
I don't think that's Baby Yoda. Baba Yaga?
Uh-huh. I can take that. Definitely rock that.
I mean, if that's Baby Yoda, that would be cool, but
Both. I think the baby Yoda would be a cool hermit card too.
The deformed or ferocious looking old woman in Slavic folklore. Baba Yaga. Also is a supernatural being or a trio of sisters of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
The Baby Yoda would be cool as the hermit card.
Yes. Both of them are cool cards.
That would be cool. But yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll start local and work our way out, shall we?
Okay. Oh, where are we starting?
The DHHR urges patients of the Beckley Clinic to go get tested for herpes and HIV. An undisclosed number of patients of the Mountain State Vascular Clinic in Beckley is being urged to get tested.
Yeah, hepatitis and HIV.
Yes.
Yeah, so apparently there were some surgical procedures at Mountain State Vascular in Beckley. There are no known infections at this time. That's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, launch into that one.
West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau of Public Health is conducting an investigation of a healthcare associate infectious control breach associated with surgical procedures at West Virginia Vascular in Beckley. At this time, there's no infections confirmed. However, in an abundance of caution, as a standard practice of any infection control breach, potential risk of bloodborne pathogens transmission, BPH is recommending certain patients who have visited the practice between October 27th, 2020 and July 7th, 2021 be tested for hepatitis B and C and HIV through the local health departments. An undisclosed number of patients have this could occur to. The letter also says, please be aware that people infected with hepatitis C, B, and HIV may not experience any symptoms for many years. It's so important to be tested, even if you don't feel ill. In general, you should be tested to begin with if you're an adult.
Which, I mean, they're not wrong. Like, we've been saying this. But yeah, so they were reusing syringes.
I don't know how anybody with their medical license can let that even be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, until like how, yeah. Like, it's a single-use syringe.
Yes.
On more than one patient during what they're calling invasive procedures. And I call that anything that goes in, like, for any reason.
Right.
I don't get, like, I'm just sitting here going, like, this is me having a moment.
Okay, you can have your
and
moment,
going,
and I'll have my bitch fit.
Well, no, I'm having my moment because I'm going, okay, unless I'm being really dumb, I hear syringe, I think piece of plastic with a plunger and a gasket with a needle. Mm-hmm. And that there is nothing else that could sort of be like.
Right.
And I'm going, those are freaking cheap. Like how? Like it's not even like you're saving money. Like, are you just saving time? Is it one of those fill it up once and then just like pop, 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 pop? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, yeah, any puncture to the skin should be, well, yeah, is considered an invasive procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm just sitting here going, like, I mean, that's where I'm going with it, and I'm just like, but why? Like, what made you, like, in a medical facility, why? Why? It's a single
Stupidity.
use, like, uh,
Stupidity. This is what they've done. They've took a syringe, filled it full of heparin, filled it full of contrast, filled them full,
mm-hmm.
and just pop, 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 shoot, 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 shoot. Oh, EKG. Same fucking syringe.
I mean, I don't get it.
I do not get how a person who spends 8 years of their life working their ass off to get a degree would
I
risk
mean,
other people's lives.
well, and on something so stupid.
Exactly.
Like I can't even like that's where I'm struggling with this is it's not like,
Right.
I mean, like I get if it's like a reusable syringe and you have an autoclave failure and you have to issue something like this. Like I can sort of understand that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's an accident, that's an unfortunate situation. It sucks. This is why we typically use single-use disposable anymore, is so that like that's not even a thing.
Right. Well, no, that's because they're so expensive.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Those are not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, but even still, like, and God knows, it can barely remember the last time I actually saw an autoclave in someone's medical office.
Right.
Like, it's, like, I mean, now, like, they used to be, like, all over the place. Like, I remember going to one doctor's office, they actually had them in the exam rooms. Like, that's how old that medical practice was. They, like, it was in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's an autoclave. And
Right.
I'm like, what? So, oh, yeah. Well, and the sad part is it wasn't that long ago, but
No.
well, yeah, that's a long time ago for the story. Yeah, that's just kind of like, yeah, good luck. Your, post-exposure prophylaxis is kind of pointless.
Right.
I mean,
Apparently, this was an employee doing the wrong thing, and the employee no longer works at the clinic. Why is the employee not arrested for attempted murder?
well, theoretically, it was. I mean, is it attempted murder though? I mean, it's careless, haphazard stupidity.
It is attempted murder or attempted manslaughter.
Well, but then you actually have to. Well, I'm still going with you should have to prove like an actual transmission.
Well,
hello, Amanda. Yeah.
Yeah. So please be careful when you're at medical facilities. You should be seeing your medical providers wash their hands. You should be seeing them draw anything. Pre-drawn stuff, redraw that in front of me. They should have to alcohol the taps.
Yeah. Well, and the bigger problem I've had, and I know this was like definitely, I don't feel like they ever used anything on my grandmother that wasn't exactly that had been used before. Let me say that.
Right.
I don't think they had done that exactly. But now their trays were always pre-prepped, open, and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
As in, typically we got in that room, the tray's already ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it all looks sterile. You do see them trash it after your appointment.
Mm-hmm.
But before that next patient gets in, they always had everything laid back out. Because it was a doctor that did the same procedure all day long.
Right. But again,
I
that ain't
still was a
happening with
little...
us. I'll
I
get
still
you
found it a little mean.
Well, it's like I even threw a fit on nurses that came in and were giving you heparin and they forget to alcohol prep the caps. I'm like, alcohol prep those. Sterilize the cap before you draw.
Yeah.
You already
Hi,
charged
Mary.
insurance for the whole vial. By golly, you can sit there and use an alcohol prep to clean it.
Mm-hmm.
These are steps and standard procedures in general.
Yeah.
And yes, as a patient, you have the right to ask for fresh needles, fresh supplies, things to be open in front of you.
Yeah.
Because your grandmother had this issue with hand mixing. And I was just horrified.
Oh. That was there was the same doctor's office. He splash mixed is the best way to describe it. What she was getting was injections for her needles, which were a triple mixture. It was 3 different medications mixed together, being directly injected into her knee. He did that on the fly during the appointment, and just basically took the vial, pull from 3 separate vials, and then injected her. I just like, and he wasn't always that accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And he would freely admit it, that it's close enough. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Because part of that mixture, it was 2 pain meds and a steroid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one that, like, I don't know how exacting he needed to be with it, but I know that it, like, her reaction after that appointment, and this is like 12 plus hours later, would vary anywhere from she's a little agitated, which, okay, I can understand. You just had needles in your knee. Like, I didn't think much of it. I thought that was the problem. To, like, there was one point I was like, you do that. And I literally called because it was the only thing I could figure out had happened, and found out it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally told him, you do that again, and I'll drop her off for you to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, we're dealing with a 90-some-year-old woman with dementia and steroids.
Right.
Amanda, you can totally have a reading. Please include your date of birth, including month, day, and year. We need that to keep the lawyers happy. Make sure we're reading for someone we can read for. And then include your question. Please be specific. Thank you. But no, like, my God, agitated, like severe, like roid rage plus dementia. Not a good combo.
No, not a good combo at all.
Like, it was the worst. Oh yeah, it was billed to Medicare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why she had to go back for 2 appointments. Because effectively, and he again explained this, and talk about a moment where it's like, I'm not saying I don't understand, but at the same time, like, seriously?
Right.
Like, I get what he was doing, which was he would only inject 1 leg per day.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have a whole separate appointment to do the other knee.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because he basically got his maximum payout for the first injection.
Right.
Every subsequent injection, he got paid less and less. So he, like, you pretty much had to beg him to do both knees on one day.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, because he got the maximum payout if he did it as two separate.
Right.
And there were a few times I was like, look, normally I'll sit here and play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, fine, whatever, that's what you want to do. But it's winter and she's 90-some years old.
Right.
Can we just get both knees done?
Right.
Like, I'm asking as nicely as I can.
Right.
And in a situation, this was a rheumatologist.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one for many miles. Like the next closest one I think was in like Charleston or somewhere north of Beckley. No matter what we would have done, like he was literally the closest one. He had patients that like left, you know, bright ass early in the morning from Tennessee to come see him.
Right.
He was the same one that had a, you know, basically a sign that said, if you have a problem with waiting, then you shouldn't be my patient.
Uh-huh.
Bring a book.
Yeah. See, that's bullcrap. That is trying to be greedy and collect as much money as he can off of bulk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was a trip. I mean, I'm not saying, like, the injections helped her. I give him that. Like, out of all of his crap, the injections did help.
Right.
And they actually kept her from having a knee replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And she literally, it was down to like the last 3 years that it was like knee replacement might have been the better choice.
Right.
And I go, that's pretty good. She started having problems in her mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
And the knee and the injections got her not pain-free, but, you know, comfortable enough to keep up with her life, which included volunteering at our hospital, well through her into her 90s. So mid-70s to 90s, I call that a win. But he was a nightmare to deal with.
Right.
Like, he was just like wonderful staff, loved his staff.
Right.
But the doctor was a total nightmare.
And that's because, you know, he's getting paid double by insurance. All right. So that's out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, you have a question, or do you want to slate and go to our next story and then get the question in a minute?
Well, I don't have a question yet because it's still not Pacific. Specific questions.
No, only dozen specific, no generals. Oh, you do have one now.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, we'll take Mary's.
All right, so Mary, 11/28/57. I've not heard back from the dean despite 2 emails. Will I be better off with a lawyer writing a letter?
I think you'll be better off with a lawyer writing a letter. I think that would be more respectful. I feel like the emails are going not to him. Okay. All right. Now, this one's going to melt my aggravation and just give aggravation. From our Hearts teacher, now accused of sweeping trash onto a child, making her eat out of the sink, and slamming her head into a desk. Take it away.
So, what was that, like last week? Yeah. So a Holmes Elementary teacher, Nancy Boggs, this is just sad. I mean, it's sad, it's pathetic, it's enraging, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
So she's already been criminally indicted on 23 counts of misdemeanor battery and a single count of verbal abuse on a non-communicative child. And I think that was all from one day. literally 1 day's worth of video. And yeah, so now there's more.
Right.
But yeah, a child identified as SP has also, oh, no. An SP had also been listed in the indictment. Oh, okay. SP, another student. Boggs is accused of striking SP with a file cabinet door, jerking her by the hair, and throwing her to the ground. Oh, gosh. But this also alleges abuse not just on September 8th and September 22nd, but also September 9th, 10th, and the 21st. Yikes. This is, and fundamentally what we're running into are a lot of problems with the way, like, I will say it's an improvement. We have cameras in these classrooms.
Yes.
Especially when we're talking about classrooms with children that are not always able to speak up for themselves, communicate clearly, etc. The problem with the way West Virginia has handled this is you have to almost know that something happened to be able to go out and find if something happened to review the videotape. Because you can only, you have to first allege an incident occurred on a date before you can see the video, or they will even look at the video for that date.
See, and that's ridiculous. These parents should have access to those cameras 24/7 at any time of the day, especially when you have teachers or people acting as teachers that aren't teachers, that aren't skilled in caring for these special needs children, to be even teaching them.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. I think that's a giant loophole in this, in the way we've handled this in West Virginia. Because fundamentally, it's a really, having the cameras should have, I would have thought, been a great deterrent.
Right.
In and of themselves. Like, do you really want to do this?
Right.
Because, I mean, again, if you have a child that, moves erratically, and is prone to bruises and cuts and things like that, you may not initially think much of, oh, they have a cut, they have a bruise, I mean, that happens, and kids are kids, they get cuts and bruises. They're children in and of themselves are not always the most coordinated. They fall, they're getting used to this whole body thing.
Right.
That in and of itself, not your biggest indicator, but when you have a child that can't even tell you something bad happened,
right,
or necessarily a child that doesn't even know that something bad did happen,
right,
like they're not exactly understanding of what happened and that this is wrong, bad, and shouldn't occur. Because honestly, if you look back at a lot of abuse, and especially some of the sexual abuse that has occurred, primarily that's so far outside of a child's understanding that, like, how do you start to talk about something being wrong if you don't know it's wrong?
Right.
Or if you only, or you're stuck in that limbo of, you've been sworn to secrecy, but you don't necessarily get why. And that's, again, for average children. Like your average run-of-the-mill first grade classroom, second grade classroom on up.
Right.
Then you start bringing in kids that are not communicative, who are not necessarily fully functional mentally, or lack that capacity to really understand.
Right.
That's just, again, you would think the cameras in and of themselves would be enough of a deterrent, but then again, if you're dealing with children that are already vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would think that before you even get into that job,
Mm-hmm.
like, why did you go into this job?
I don't know. I don't know why this teacher was even in this classroom. I do not understand that I can watch someone in my driveway from my desk on my phone. Why these parents are not given passcodes and app link-ins to be able to see that classroom at any time and to review footage at any time.
Yes, teachers are mandatory reporters.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, if you're part of the abuse, or like this isn't excusing anyone. I have to go with either A, you're in on the abuse, you've done it to kids yourself, if you're not reporting, and you've seen another administrator or another teacher do this.
Right.
And I mean, especially more than once. I think we've all had that moment where we've had at least one teacher who just lost it.
Right.
And like, that moment of like, I don't know what's going on in your life, but you need to reel that back real quick.
Right.
Like, this is how you lose your job. On a one-off situation where, and it shouldn't occur. But on a one-off situation, I could almost understand if there were no serious harm done.
Right.
And I do mean no serious harm.
Right.
Like, I could see pulling someone aside and being like, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to get your head on straight. Don't ever do that again. And it being, they had a bad day. Hopefully this was the one and only time in their career, and never, ever again will this ever happen again.
Right.
Because again, I think we've all seen teachers just completely snap.
Right.
That whatever a kid did, it just hit all the wrong buttons.
Right.
And they are human. And I do try to understand that. Like, I mean this more so, like, I have in like my own educational experience, I've seen a teacher haul off and slap someone.
Right.
And it's because, and quite frankly, sitting there as another kid in that classroom going, that kid deserved it.
Right.
Like, it was wrong on so many levels, but so is what they did.
Right. And this is just
like
one case. She's involved in 2 other cases, and 2 other parents are suing her also. One for allegedly grabbing a child by the neck and slamming his head into the desk. And when he complained, telling him that his daddy wasn't going to come help him.
Yeah. And see, that's where this teacher, it's just so far out. Like, it seems like every day she has worked, there were incident after incident after incident after incident. This isn't a teacher that had a really bad day.
Right.
Like, one, that's a lot of different incidents for a bad day.
Right.
Because that spans her entire day.
Right.
Was just like systematically, repeatedly abusing these children.
Right.
I mean, it's not like one heated moment where like a child grabbed her wrong and she reflexively slapped them or slapped them away from them.
Right.
This was repetitive and had almost nothing to do with what a child did.
Right.
Or honestly, the classroom you're working in, having a child refuse to do an assignment or pay attention, pretty much the job description there.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to be like hateful or condescending, but that's kind of your job description. Like, these are kids that are struggling through education. This is the job description. these are the kids you're working with. Like, what were you unclear on about your job?
Right.
Like, this is where it's at.
Right.
Like,
and then the other part of this is the other student was supposed to have a full-time aide, meaning a full-time witness in this classroom. Didn't happen. The county didn't hire him one. That's bull.
I mean, there are classrooms like that, I'm sure, throughout the state that are single staffed. They aren't supposed to be, but end up or are single staff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just,
right.
I mean, we talk a lot in education about the problems of overcrowding in classrooms. That's especially a classroom that your ratio really has to go down.
Right.
And that one person alone in that room is at least one person too few.
Right.
Because unfortunately, again, you're dealing with kids that we know are going to struggle and have issues, and this is not going to be an easy classroom.
Right. It's going to be far
because
from easy.
You are dealing with kids that may not necessarily be that adept with, following instruction, who may have, individual needs that are going to take time, that you're going to have to stop for and, handle, address, etc. Like, it's at least one teacher too few.
Exactly. So, and now she's seeking retirement.
Yeah. Effectively, she saw the writing on the wall the minute someone said anything.
Right.
She knew the direction all this was going to head, and she effectively is trying to, and she may have done so, put her retirement in before she could lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, she requested retire before the board could make any determinations.
Well, she requested retirement, which closed it on the board level, but doesn't change it on the county and the state level, and they're charging her with 23 counts of battery. That's 1 year apiece, even if they choose to serve that consecutively, plus up to $2,500 in fines. I think these are too little. Yeah. I do not understand why it's not child abandonment, child neglect, child endangerment. It's just battery.
There's a lot of questions there.
Mm-hmm.
Because quite frankly, any other adult who would treat a child like that would be dealing with a whole different arm of the legal system and a whole lot different damage consequences.
Right. And this is the second teacher they've caught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's starting to look like the one that's the most prolific, or at least the one who's going to be the poster child.
Right.
For why this law gets changed, to allow more access without a complaint.
Well, I think that the tapes need to be reviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, parents need to be able to review those tapes for up to 90 days themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I can also go back and just say, like, I had one teacher, and I will never forget this. We all got A's on a test. I've told you all about this, but bless her heart. She was not a morning person at all.
Mm-hmm.
And this one particular morning, and this is back in the 90s. Even then, West Virginia's education system compensation was so bad. This teacher had 2 jobs. She was a teacher and she worked in a jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what had gone on
Mm-hmm.
before this poor woman started her day, but we came in her first class of the day and we had a test, and she was especially out of it that morning. I don't mean like drunk, I mean like exhausted. Just that I don't know how she safely made it to school exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And she is sitting there having her coffee, kind of having that look of like, oh, thank God it's a test day. I don't have to think for an hour.
Right.
And she is trying to have her little cup of coffee and wake up. And she's, of course, we're all taking a test. And so she's looking out into the room and she spots one kid cheating off of another.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the worst moments of I did not know I said that out loud, she thought she said inside of her head, well, you idiot, if you're going to cheat off of someone who has a chance of passing my class.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't realize she said that out loud till we all kind of looked up like, duh, she just said. What we knew when she said it,
Right.
who it had to be. Like, there were 2 kids in that class who were not getting out of this class by their own merit.
Uh-huh.
Like, they had no hope. We all knew it.
Uh-huh.
Like, they knew it. And it was at that moment she goes, I just said that out loud, didn't I? And we just kind of all, like children of the corn, like,
Uh-huh.
She's like, if you'll just turn in your papers now and put your heads down for the rest of my class, I will give you all an A as long as you never speak of this again.
Mm-hmm.
We all got A's.
Well, good. But no,
But we could, even the kids that got called out, I think could have forgiven. Like, we all, I think we all forgave her for that one. Even the kids involved,
right.
like they knew they were screwed. They found it more funny than anything.
Right.
But
no.
yes,
Anyway, so we have 2 teachers, 2 aides currently charged in Kanawha County. This is after 1 year with videotaping in the classroom. Post of that year, they've not been in school because we've had Corona.
Mm-hmm.
What level is, what is going on? What is my tax dollars being spent on?
Well, I think moreover, we're learning that there was already a problem that necessitated cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anyone had any doubts that, this was money for nothing.
Right.
And that all of these were wonderful educators and everything was going wonderfully, and how dare you think anything could possibly be going wrong in these classrooms. I think anyone who, heard that one just got their vindication.
Right.
Like, unfortunately,
mm-hmm.
like I would have loved for the cameras to have gone into these classrooms and it have all been for naught. Like, it was a big waste of money. I think everyone would have loved that.
Right.
Like, that nothing, like there was no need. Like, this is just, way overboard.
Right.
I find it sad that even with the cameras in the classroom,
mm-hmm.
no one had to stop, wake up, and get with the program moment.
Right. And that's
like,
ridiculous.
Yeah, because you would think first year, second year, you'd be a little cautious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that almost makes me wonder how much worse could it have been?
Right.
Like, before, but not for, like, getting caught.
Right.
would it have escalated
Right.
and just gotten worse for these kids?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, were previous classes even worsely treated?
Right.
And would subsequent classes have been far worsely treated? That
Right.
it had become the, like, well, no one's watching.
Right.
I'm
It's
just,
ridiculous.
it's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying every teacher who ever says something wrong, or every teacher who, I want to say, has a one bad day, blindly reacted, like a student grabbed them inappropriately and they reacted like anyone should. Because I don't care what age a child is. There are certain ways you don't grab another adult human being.
Right.
And it is understandable, even if, you know, it shouldn't have happened,
Mm-hmm.
for someone to, without thinking, turn around and bop a kid.
Right.
In that situation.
Right.
In that situation. Or for an accident to happen. I can be really understanding of those. I would hope most parents could be understanding of those.
Right.
That if that's what occurred, but these are situations like they're sitting there with a full day's videotape, and it's like she was turning the most benign things that, again, this is the job description. Don't
Mm-hmm.
you expect this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would expect this.
Well, the first case, the boy was answering questions incorrectly, and she just walked up behind and grabbed him, put her hand around the back of his neck, and slammed it into the desk.
Yeah.
According to the video. The other one, we're not even sure what the girl was doing. All we know is her head got slammed into a file cabinet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She got garbage swept up on her and told that she was garbage.
Yeah. Like, I mean, of all the moments of you want a clear-cut case of abuse, this is a clear-cut case of abuse.
Yes,
This
these are our
isn't
most vulnerable children because they're nonverbal. These are our most vulnerable children because they have disabilities.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yes, corporal punishment. Is corporal punishment technically illegal in West Virginia now?
It is.
God.
It was illegal in my 3rd grade, so.
Okay, apparently Mercer County missed the memo. I'm going, your 3rd grade year was before mine. No, West Virginia banned corporal punishment in 1994.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, I remember, like, no, you could still be paddled in the principal's office when I was in elementary school.
Okay, because they stopped being able to do that in the 3rd grade, and we actually had a teacher fired over paddling a student with her heel.
Well, now, it wasn't exactly something that, like, anyone was jumping to do.
Right.
But at the same time, like, we heard it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it occurred. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, my mother was the first, like, her introduction was, and yes, please beat the crap out of him if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, I will not complain. Right. And I'm just sitting here going, thanks, Mom. Like, huh?
Yeah, so does my mother.
Like, that's not a great day of your first, like, meet the teacher kindergarten experience. You know?
Yeah. Like, just, beat him up just to beat him up.
Like, geez, Mom. Like, I was a kid and even I knew, like, thanks for putting a target on my back going, are you having a bad day? Would you like to beat the crap out of a child? Here's one. Thanks, Mom. Like, it wasn't scary enough. Now I'm afraid.
Right.
I mean,
But again,
theoretically, probably got good behavior out of, like, all of us on that hit list.
uh-huh.
Oh, baby kissed watching intently with Go-Gurt. Oh, someone is just too cute to exist. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're too cute to exist.
And we got a question.
Alrighty. Did we get one from
Nope.
Amanda? No, we don't have a specific one from Amanda yet. Alrighty, so we are at Dottie.
Yep.
All right, Dottie, 31786. I'm going to get my house and keep it. Am I going to get my house and keep it? Good Lord, I cannot read tonight.
Mm-mm.
It was the pretty baby. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
No, you got it right, Dottie. You were fine.
So, first we have the Emperor here showing you that you need to kind of follow lead, take charge, stick to the laws of the land, basically. Then we have the Ace of Swords here that shows that new opportunity, shiny and pretty. However, we have the Nine of Pentacles here that reminds you to watch your money. Make sure you're getting the right amount of money. Make sure that it is going in the right places. Budgeting will be important. And your overall situation is the King of Swords. Yes, but you're going to have to be really hard on yourself and really hard on what you expect out of things. So to answer your question, yes, you'll get your house with the Ace of Swords showing up here. And you'll keep it as long as you keep your system in place.
Basically a Taskmaster card.
Yes, very much Saturn energy.
Keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind.
And if you need a budget planner, Dottie, we have one waiting for you.
Oh, goodness. But yeah,
I think you'll enjoy your home. All right.
Sorry, I'm still looking at the baby picture.
I know you're looking at baby picture. Baby Gus is so cute. He's our mascot.
Oh, there's Ashley.
Yes.
So Ashley, 8/26/96, is Monday going to be a good day for me?
Let's take a look here, Ashley. All right. Going to be a money day. Going to be a day you got to focus on yourself. It's going to be a day that's going to be a little hard, but it'll work itself out. All right. And Mary says, what a person gives to Saturn, that person gets to keep. Good old Saturn. Yeah.
Oh, Ashley got sidetracked working on business opportunities for the mother-in-law. Wait, is that what we're now calling her dating life? Is that where we're at?
No.
Because I remember there was like a Mr. Money and a Squidward and like,
Honey,
I'm just saying they keep asking like does he have the money?
uh-huh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Is that what we're calling it now? I've found accounting or spicy accounting on TikTok. I haven't been the same since.
Uh-huh. Then
Like
told you to keep Tabascus away from my budget journal. All right, we'll swipe and you can take the lead on the next one.
Okay. Alrighty, so what is the next one? I don't know that I have them in order.
You can choose either the Mother Jones, but well, both of them was Mother Jones. Either the 3 defendants found guilty of murder.
Sure, we'll go for that.
Okay.
Alrighty, so all 3 defendants, and this is on November 24th, so a couple days later, but all 3 defendants were found guilty of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. And the case helped galvanize racial justice protests around the world. That's from Mother Jones and how they're describing this article. So a jury in Brunswick, Georgia on Wednesday afternoon found all 3 defendants involved in the 2020 shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery guilty of murder. Gregory McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and their neighbor William Rhodey Bryan Jr. were all convicted on multiple homicide counts. All 3 faced life sentences.
Good. They need to. What pissed me off in this case was they tried to use one of those old laws. A law that had been passed pre-Civil War to capture runaway slaves. I just could not. Even.
I gotta say, as a defense, like you're really scraping the bottom of the like shit that's still on the books barrel.
Right.
If that was the best you could come up with.
Right.
Is we're gonna pull some really old crap out here and just trot that out and try to make that happen.
Right. But let me give you a sugarcoat of this defense. Currently in Fayette County, there is a law in the books that says that you can take your wife to the courthouse steps, and as long as you whip her with a switch smaller than your thumb, which by the way, this is a size 14-inch thumb. We found this out because I do have a thumb ring, that is perfectly legal.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, on the books.
On the books.
On the books. I'm sitting here going, I think anyone who tries that out is going to find out something entirely different. I mean, but I just don't see that going over well.
Yes, but
even if it is technically on the books.
Right, but at the domestic violence hearing, when I'm charged with domestic violence, I use that as a defense. It was Sunday and we were on the courthouse steps, and that switch, it's been entered into evidence, is smaller than my thumb.
I met all the requirements.
This defendants tried to use.
Yeah.
Was they were attempting to place him under citizen's arrest and had a right to kill him. This is why I think the laws in this country need to be reviewed every 5 years. Every single law.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, someone's already there. Like, I gotta love the 30-second delay. Oh, is that poor Shannon?
Yeah.
Oh, we're sorry. We just went over that.
Well, so Luckily, Georgia got it right. This jury got it right. Finally,
Yeah.
we have a case that got it right.
So, yeah. I mean, and the sad reality is, it is very possible someone, or more importantly, the jury, and multiple someones could have sat there and said, well, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and wouldn't have even been wrong necessarily about the intent of the
Right.
law. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, sometimes you run into those laws that's like, well, that's not really what that's about.
Right.
Like, we hear that sometimes a lot in, like, when someone gets off on a technicality.
Right.
And it, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, I see what you did there. That's a legitimate question. A little bit persnickety, but okay, fair enough. You know. Yes, Amanda, we did just get your question. Like, all of your comments just showed up.
There you go.
Yeah, there you are. So yeah, and I mean, when I say they just all showed up, they just all showed up.
Like, Amanda, honey, I don't know if you're on cellular service or what, but you just literally just powered through our comment section. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this.
Okay, let's go ahead and grab Amanda real quick and get her straightened out. All right, let me make sure. Let's see. So sad while we were bored. Okay, so let me go back up and grab your birthday, which I think is 4/9/1980.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it is 4/9/1980. There it is. I'm good. Um, Alrighty. So, will things with me and my fella go good? Will we make it and be getting married and all is planned?
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, Amanda just got internet back. That's what happened. There you go.
All right. I feel like there are some built-in fears to this relationship that you guys are going to have to overcome. I do feel that you'll be getting married and moving at the same time. I also feel like you both have a lot of opportunities coming, but with that marriage comes a stronger challenge that you guys will be able to take on. I would look at it being about 18 months to marriage.
Alrighty. And then Mary has a question. Do you want to take it or jump back into the story?
Let's go for Mary.
For Mary, all right, 11/28/57 is JLB's penchant for secrecy, i.e., Pluto, going to deepen.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's his Pluto. I think it's more so his self-esteem. He's afraid of being judged and fitting into the mold, and having people talk about him. So yeah, we'll be continuing to be secret. That's just JB. Let it be as it is.
All right. So back to Mother Jones and the Arbery case.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, thankfully, this went a lot better than I think a lot of people were fearful it would turn out.
Very much so, especially in a situation with this.
Yeah, all white jury, or mostly, well, an almost all white jury. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fundamentally, there was enough white on that jury that it really may not have mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
but this was
very
even a
disproportionate
bigger
to like
sword
population,
because it took 74 days for Brian and the McMillions to be charged and arrested. The first prosecutor to handle the case, Jackie Johnson, recused herself over her connection with McMillan, who had previously worked as an investigator in the Burnsville District Attorney's Office. and as a police officer. Shortly after the shooting, McNeely called Johnson and left a voicemail asking for her advice. Although it's not clear if she responded or not, in September of 2021, Johnson was indicted by grand jury for allegedly showing favor and affection to McNeely and directing the police officers not to arrest his son. In her case has yet to be gone to trial. Johnson advised the policeman not to arrest the three men before recusing herself over his son's ties to Greg McNeely, and according to the documents obtained by the New York Times, and the graphic video spreading to the social media platforms.
Absolutely.
So this could have been swept underneath the rug unless it was for video.
Hmm. I mean, and that is more and more of where our justice system is in video. The ability of video to accurately represent a situation, like clearly, plainly, visibly. Like, what else could I be seeing?
Right.
Because now we did see that.
Question.
I've got it here in front of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just like this is small town fucking politics shit that could have gone really bad if it wasn't for the social media outcry.
Hmm. I mean, as much as I hate the proliferation of cameras on one side, my biggest problem being the bystander effect, which for anyone not familiar, it's where basically people become photojournalists instead of human beings, and they're more interested in capturing video than they are with helping people in distress. That particular, like when everyone becomes a little baby citizen journalist with the phone in their or with the camera in their pocket, there's a lot of times that horrible things happen because no one did anything but stand there.
Right.
That people die, people, literally because no human theoretically is actually paying attention. It's just a bunch of people holding cameras.
Right.
And no one's actually interacting with the situation that's unfolding in front of them.
Right. Now, I will give kudos to the prosecuting attorney, Linda Dunkenshine, for really doing a great case. It was a really good pled case. It was a really good presented case. But also to the Georgia legislature, because once they got called on the carpet for this shit, they quickly got things yeeted out of there, because the law spoke of the citizen's arrest, which was essentially enacted during the Civil War era to allow white Americans to catch people who had escaped from the plantation. They also passed the first ever hate crime statute. Now, granted, these three can't be tried for it, but it's kind of like someone actually brought it up that, oh yeah, that law's still in the books, dum-dums.
I'm sorry, did you just use yeeted in a sentence?
Yes, I just used yeeted in a sentence.
Okay. Alrighty. And technically, I think you used it correctly.
I know I did.
Okay, cool. So, all right. We're staying hip with the youngsters. So, all right. You ready for that question from Ashley yet?
Sure.
They yeeted it right out of there. Oh, my God. All right, so 8/26/96. Ashley's question is the book launch party I'm planning for my mother-in-law going to be successful? Side note, totally different mother-in-law. Like, I got confused. Like, when we tell you guys he doesn't tell me anything, I'm not kidding. Like,
It'll
you
be
gotta, like,
very.
spell some things out.
I feel it'll be very successful. I think it'll be a very good book launch. But I have a question, Ashley. Where is my advance copy?
Ooh.
Why has her booking agent not got a hold of me?
Ooh, you're in trouble.
All right.
Oh, so one mother-in-law is all business right now and one's all play.
Are you getting comments? Because I'm no longer getting comments.
Oh, they're like way up there. And no, I haven't gotten anything since we got the ones from Amanda.
Okay.
Like, so I don't know if we lost comments. This will be an interesting show if we did. We'll just sit here and say really annoying things and nah, boo boo. Oh man, the comments are working.
Yay.
Sorry, I just saw Ashley's come in. It's like, oh man. Just at the point in which I'm gonna be all gloaty about we don't have comments.
No, I don't want that. I want to make sure it's working. So they've done some upgrades. They're doing some upgrades, and we're battling through it.
Even Shannon was apparently going to be with me on it. Okay, so Ashley wants to know what we said about the book. Why hasn't
it success? But why do I not have my advance copy? Why am I not working with her booking agent to get her on the coffee shop?
And Amanda, you are still up and running now.
Yep.
So yeah, we're still getting your comments as well. I don't know if we just had a glitch. Like, things happen. We've had this happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still better than the blog talk. Like, we're just gonna lose all the phone lines in the middle of the show.
Exactly.
Like, God.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had Psychic Coffee Shop had its 13-year anniversary, and we were just talking the other day about the joys and growing pains over that 13 years, and one of them was, boy, when that service decided to take a dump, it really took a dump.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we freeze up occasionally with StreamYard. We occasionally have little glitches and comments and delays and stuff, but it's nowhere near.
Right.
Oh, we do love StreamYard. We might as well plug them. We love them enough. We pay for them.
Yes. And that's a big thing because I don't use my Patreon money for nothing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. We lovingly pay for them. I don't think we've ever looked at that bill and been like, oh man. I think we've generally been like, yep, nope, worth it. Compared to the other crap we could have.
Right. Ashley, I've covered
nice.
children's books before on the show.
Hi, talk to us.
We'll
set it up
offline. All right, Richard Spencer and other white naturalists find libel for the deaths in Charlottesville rally.
God, didn't that take enough? Wow, they'll have to pay more than $25 million in damages to the 9 plaintiffs. Why do I get the feeling no one's getting any money?
Oh, I get the feeling that they suddenly are going to find other things to do with their life. They need to have forfeiture. Right? A forfeiture.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Like, one, we've noticed a few things out of this whole white nationalist movement thing. Is one, people tend to pretty much lose their jobs and or careers, businesses, when they're kind of found attached to this crap.
Right.
Because unsurprisingly, people are like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
As one does.
Right.
So typically, I'm just saying, it's a lovely verdict, and it speaks to exactly what should have occurred. Right. But I get the feeling no one's getting $25 million. They were found responsible for it. I get that part.
Right.
no one's ever going to actually see 25 million.
Right.
Like, there's just...
Well, I think there's a lot behind that. I think that, that they need assets say it for me.
Asset forfeiture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even if they liquidate their assets, they're still... 25 million is a lot of money.
Right.
That's a lot of money. I don't think that the majority of the people involved in this that are going to ever possibly be found liable for anything
Mm-hmm.
are ever, like, have 25 million. I mean, we could get into the whole psychology of hate and the fact that it's, most common in people that, are like, the whole reason we had a Nazi problem was because of an economic problem.
Right.
That got turned into a, race and religion problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was appealing to the masses of unemployed and suffering to blame everything on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And effectively make it about, but not for these people,
right,
our lives would be great.
Right.
Which was that's the biggest fucking lie of hate ever. Like, that's not how it works.
Right.
Like, anytime a group is telling you to hate someone else because of the problems in your life, generally speaking, you should look very carefully at that.
Right.
And what did they have to gain?
Right.
I'm not saying it's always wrong. Like, I will say, as a member of the gays, we have some reasons to dislike conservative Republican politics.
Right.
It tends to come after us. But again, that's kind of like, this is the other side of the problem.
Right.
In which, conservative Republicans got told to blame all the world's problems and everything on the gays.
Right.
That there was the moral decline of society as exemplified by the gays.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason for the ruination of the world. Ugh. Like, from the other side of that, it's like, one, no. Two, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, Amanda, you can ask another question, certainly.
Yep.
Help me out, add your date of birth, just so I don't have to think.
All right, sending you the private chat one.
All right, we got a private chat story. Awesome. I'm in the middle of the show and I'm touching my privates. Anyway.
Knock that off.
Okay, that was funny. You gotta... All right, I don't know that I got what I was supposed to. I got sent to the news category. So, Omar House leadership must take action, Boebert's anti-Muslim remarks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find that one real quick. Because I think it redirected me because I'm... Oh, no. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's trying to get me to subscribe. Okay, so we're going to block and we're going to close. There we go. There we go. I don't know what happened the first time. It sent me, like, off the wall. All right. Oh, you're just throwing hard to pronounce names at me all night long tonight, aren't you?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to take a stab, and I apologize to this representative now if I get it wrong, but Ilhan Omar is calling on House leadership to take appropriate action against Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado after the GOP congresswoman made Islamophobic comments towards her during a campaign event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... Fuck. That's just unsurprising, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that, Representative Lauren, gun-toting Lauren, isn't she the gun-toting one?
No.
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah, she was all about she was going to carry her gun onto the floor.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. She's that hot mess. Like, she's been a hot mess all the way through. She really loves her negative attention.
Well, she's just problematic, and it's terrible to listen to her talk. It's the only other person that I hate listening to hear talk is Green, because she's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and the psychic energy coming off of her is schizophrenic. This one, however, is so bigoted, so bigoted. Like, we haven't seen this level of bigotry since the 30s in the House of Representatives.
I don't even think the 30s were that bad, were they?
Right.
Like, Jesus. I mean, like, I didn't think there would be a point in my life in which I thought McCarthyism wasn't that bad, but I'm starting to think McCarthyism wasn't that bad. Like, I know that's inappropriate to say on many levels, but my God, the last 8 years.
Right.
Like, Jesus, can we just not?
Yes, and this is why it's so important to vote in your midterm elections coming up.
Basically. So, yeah, effectively the comment was made and effectively intimated that Omar was a suicide bomber.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. I can't even. Like, that's just really. So, I hate that for Representative Omar.
Right.
Hmm.
And it's just terrible. It's terrible in general. This is so much. Like, I don't know if we need now 4 parties, because it seems to me that there's Republicans and then there's this alt Republican that is just disgusting.
Hmm.
So hopefully she will be censored. I'm hoping that she will be removed from committees. I'm hoping they do everything they can within the House to stop her. Now, granted, the proposed Speaker of the House, if the Republicans take this, says, "Oh, we'll put them in better committees next time." No, they need to be removed.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. This, like, I don't even understand how Boebert is still there after January 6th, in and of itself.
Well, because they still haven't finished the investigations. And,
Like,
yeah, like, all these people that were involved with this need to be charged with treason, not, destruction of property. No, treason.
Yeah. Well, and an important reminder from Dottie the Psychic, thank you very much. Get registered by October. Yes. You have now like 11 months remaining to get registered for your next election. Please make sure you have done that you are correctly registered for the area you live in. Please only vote once. It's
Also,
not a
if you're in the
suggestion.
state of West Virginia, be sure to know your district, because your district has changed.
Yes. Because now there's only 2.
Well, there's 2 districts, but Hopefully, we will have somebody other than Alex Mooney. Of course, I will be harassing Alex Mooney daily on Twitter until he is no longer a representative, just for my own entertainment.
Or until he starts saying things that are intelligent. Like, that would be a nice change.
Possibly. Of course, I really would hope that Capito is out of there. Like, Manchin had said that he is not running again. Wonderful. Now we need Capito to get off her ass and out of my office.
Basically, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
I don't know. Politics is just such a hot mess. Like, I don't mean I think politics have never ever been a crazy thing. I'm just saying, like, God, the last 8 years are enough to, like,
12.
explode a brain.
The last 12 years has been enough to explode a brain.
You're not wrong.
Like then since the mid-20s.
Well, but even at that point, we were still like floating in territory of like, no, this is crazy, but not like unprecedented.
Oh no,
like,
Robbie.
12 years ago,
had a congressman beat up on the floor by another congressman with a cane. You're telling me that isn't unprecedented?
I don't think that's unprecedented. Like, I think that actually has happened before.
Yes,
like,
in 1924.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot, but it's happened. I mean, that is kind of the weirdo part, though. Is it like political history is just rife with time in which it was like, I thought these were supposed to be the clear-headed members of our society that were voted in so that it didn't turn into a flippin' bare knuckle free for all. And then you turn around and you start looking through history and go, well, that didn't always work out so well. Like, yeah, well, that was the theory. It didn't go so great. Every once in a while, kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
19th century, pre-Civil War session.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary's.
There's been paintings going on at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So we've got another question from Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one already hurts, and I haven't even finished reading it. Okay. So Amanda's 491980 says, my little niece's 3rd birthday is tomorrow. She was murdered in January by her dad's girlfriend. The murder trial starts in January. I feel tomorrow is going to be very, very emotional on all of us. I'll go ahead and say it. This monster is up against the death penalty. She's trying to get off on insanity, and I just want to know what you guys think. Do you think justice will be served? Don't get me wrong, I think what she did sounds absolutely monstrous, because I don't know what the hell someone who isn't even 3 yet could possibly do that would even begin. But I'm so sad for your loss, and I know you miss her so bad. I do try to always be careful about dropping like monster and dehumanizing.
No, this is a damn monster.
Okay.
I feel justice will be served, but I feel like, however, that realize that this case is not the only court case this poor family will have to go through. Unfortunately, this is going to be one of those trial, retrial things. So, yes, tomorrow will be emotional. Yes, there's a lot of problems going on there, but it's going to be, she'll be 18 before justice is served. Amanda.
And again, we do hate that.
Totally.
Like, we are totally not cool with child abuse, and especially not
No.
in situations in which it leads to death. Like, child abuse is horrible, period. Child abuse to death is even worse. Because I'm sorry, I don't know how you end up with a dead 2-year-old, because if her third birthday is only now, like, I don't know how you start off without not involving child abuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's a terrible case. What I saw was nasty. But the legal system is just so much nastier.
Yeah, apparently, to quote, it was psycho horrible.
Yeah.
I would not doubt it. I mean, again, I've met some unruly 2-year-olds. I'll say that. I've met some unruly 2-year-olds. I've never met a 2-year-old, though, unruly as they may be, that deserved abuse or death.
This one was
Like,
not even that. Like, this one wasn't even unruly. This was just a case of a pure evil person. And probably,
I'm kind of figuring that part.
yeah.
I'm not saying, like, no, wait, you need to know more about the 2-year-old in question.
No, I don't.
I'm point blank saying, like, there's nothing a 2-year-old could ever do to deserve death. There isn't. Again, I've met some unruly 2-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that I've always had the kindest thoughts towards those unruly 2-year-olds. But at the same time, none of them involved, hit, smack, or anything else. It was just like, okay, be glad when they leave.
No, that's when you
I call that an unkind thought.
Again, this is just... I hate the justice system moves so slowly. I hate the justice system has so many chances to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those cases that's just going to be a revolving damn door.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to swipe. You've got good news in your article.
I do. I mean, not that it helped my mother any, but I do.
All right.
So coffee and tea drinking, or wait, you got a slate. Hit me with a slate. All right. Okay, so this is a little bit different than the title. So coffee and tea drinking may be associated with reduced rates of stroke and dementia. This is by Good News Network. We do love them. And this is out just yesterday. So drinking coffee or tea may be associated with a lower risk of stroke and dementia, according to a study of healthy individuals aged 50 to 74. Drinking coffee was also associated with a lower risk of post-stroke dementia. So yeah. Seems counterintuitive there, doesn't it? Like, I thought for years we were saying that, like, no, you wanted to reduce your caffeine consumption, that's what was causing this, at least causing strokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stimulant, it's increasing your blood pressure, it's going to make you more likely to have a stroke.
If that was the case, I should have done a ton of strokes. Okay?
Yeah. Although technically it says people who drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee or 3 to 5 cups of tea per day, or a combination of 4 to 6 cups of coffee and tea, have the lowest incidence of stroke or dementia.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what it would do for 48 cups of coffee a day.
No, I think that's when you have a stroke.
Not really.
No, that's when you technically can start having heart attacks.
Uh-huh.
No, seriously, like, excessive caffeine consumption can cause you to have a heart attack.
Who says?
What?
Why did I have to reduce my caffeine intake so that we could get a Keurig?
Because it was too expensive.
No.
Like, I mean, we're still, I mean, it's not the cheapest way for us to have coffee or tea by any stretch of the
Oh,
imagination.
fucking well. That's the way we're doing it
But
because
we
it's
are,
damn good.
again, I consider it as paying for convenience. It does make our life easier.
Yes.
It really does. Yeah, or you turn into Superman. I mean, there's that. That's an option. Typically with my excessive caffeine consumption, I tend to, hear colors and see sounds. So no, I don't think that's a good sign of things happening in my brain that should be happening.
Right.
Like that's what I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk away now.
No, when I first started God 23 years ago, I had a partner, and he was one of my weird partners, and here's why. He would run me coffee up and down, and my office at the time was in the basement, and he counted it one night. He brought me 48 cups of coffee in one shift.
Dear God. Dear God. 48?
48.
Oh, Ashley has a Keurig and it's a paperweight. Now we know where our spare is. Literally, Ashley, if ours were to go down on midnight Christmas Eve, I will just send me your address. We will bring you $200.
Uh-huh.
That's where I would be at. Because no, if our Keurig goes down, it's a national emergency. But you have to be human for that much caffeine to affect you, Joe. That's why Aeson isn't affected. I certainly agree. He is an animal of some variety.
We'll take care of that, Ashley. There's a Sheets right down the street. I'm sure they'll have some hybrid coffee.
Oh, I'll come and get it when you're ready. But yeah, fresh brewed coffees. Wow. Yeah, no. Well, no, that was pre-Keurig days.
That was that was French press days.
Oh, dear God. French press? You're
Yeah.
just pure evil.
Yes, I used to enjoy a lovely pot of French press. Well, I used to enjoy about 6 pots of French press a day.
Ashley, at this point, we should be budgeting for a new one every 6 months, point blank. We are so outside we really should have the commercial one with a water line. That's where we're at.
Well, there is a water line right below there we could hook up.
I know. I thought about it. I know. This is not this. Yeah, Brenda's French press coffee is gods. Good even.
Yeah, it is for the gods, and it is good, especially when it's fresh ground. He had a thing about, he's the one who introduced me to all the expensive coffees.
Okay, I say this with love. I don't know why. You think the penultimate in coffee is the all-night diner on a bun.
Hey, a good bun is a wonderful investment.
Yeah, we've thought about buying one. I'm not kidding. We did.
Mm-hmm.
I before we finally agreed to just go ahead and get another Keurig, I spoke seriously about getting a commercial grade coffee pot. I was not joking when I said it. I actually talked about hooking it up to the water line. Just because.
Get me the drill. The old ice water line is down there tapped off. We can open it up and clear it out, and then put it in.
Yeah, no. I'm just, yeah, no.
Ooh, an espresso machine. Mm.
Hmm. No. 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 Oh, Skinny Brew I used to drink is 220 milligrams of caffeine in a little on-the-go packet.
Uh-huh.
God.
It's a little too nutty for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, we've bounced him through nice coffee. He's like, one, I need my Folgers fog lifter, and I'm okay with this black silk from
Yeah.
Folgers.
Yes.
That's our house coffee.
Yes.
Like, mostly because we've looked at some other brands, and you're like, yeah, I can't justify paying that much for coffee.
Right. It isn't like I can drop $54 every bag for a bag of coffee. And that's what
Well,
Kona
odds.
used to cost. Death
Yeah.
by Coffee doesn't have a commercial license.
Yeah, we'd have to pot it ourselves, and that's never gone well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no. Oh, so apparently Sumatra is a treat.
Sumatra's a good coffee.
Oh, and apparently don't want Kopi Luwak. Luwak?
I really don't care for Cookie Lilac. Cookie Lilac is kind of like the sweeping of the floor of the Golden Kona.
Oh, wow. All right, we went there. I mean, now I will give him like his coffee experience is a little more than mine. I will say, like your ex really did a number on you.
Mm-hmm.
He can sniff out Turkish coffee being made, and he was down to the point. We were in this restaurant, and literally they were private, like they were trying to, granted, in the middle of the shop, but they were privately making for staff Turkish coffee. He was standing there like, I will pay you. Don't care how much for a cup of that.
It smelled delicious. It's a rich brew Turkish coffee on a fire cook steel pot, and I have the pot now. We got it at Goodwill. I can't wait till I can find the Turkish brew, because their Turkish coffee has this rich honey aroma to it and this golden taste, like you can taste the sun in it, kind of like Kona but with a stronger flavor.
You can taste the sun in it?
Yes.
All right. Save me. Send help. Oh God. Yeah. So yeah, someone's boss makes a Turkish and Middle Eastern coffee for himself, and apparently makes him vibrate.
Yes. Do you realize how much work I can get done on that much caffeine?
Well, yeah, and you can probably thread a sewing machine while it runs. I don't really see that as necessarily always the best thing.
Well, depending on what I'm working on.
I mean, honey,
Yeah.
you got to keep in mind, if you start running your network business like you did that shotgun tarot class in which you did 20 readings in under 20 minutes, that's not really good for business. Like, I'm not, like, one, I don't even think your clients could take that much information in a minute. Like, some of them would like to, like, be able to hear the words, process it, and be like, hi, before you're like, thank you, happy holidays, next.
The next time I teach that shotgun tarot class, you have to film it. I thought you were filming it last time.
Yeah, you know. Sorry, I was taking photos.
Well, I get that.
Like, I didn't think we'd have good audio for that one.
I don't care about the audio. I'll put a mic on. We own them.
Not if you have 97 octane coffee. I'm not tethering you to my camera when you are like tasting the sun.
Oh boy.
God.
Well, it's like the Hawaiian coffee. You can taste the ocean in it.
Well, now that part makes sense. Taste the sun. I mean, granted, my family says things like, you have to cook green beans until you cook the green out of them. And we actually mean that. We actually can taste the color green of green vegetables. Like, it's a thing. It's a legit thing. Like, oh, yeah. It was amazing to watch. It really was. It was like, there's no way he could teach an entire class in 20 minutes, even if it is called Shotgun Tarot. Apparently one can.
And that was just on, what was it, Pilot Coffee that morning?
Yeah, it was. And that wasn't even the good Pilot Coffee because, they were having some trouble getting stuff in.
Yeah, it wasn't even the choice blend Pilot Coffee. But no, I do this. I learned how to do this in the Yahoo chat rooms when you used to have a list of people. When I say a list, it's like longer than your chat window list of people with questions. And we'd get backed up, and I'm like, all right, let's just clear these out. And it's like zap, 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 zap. Spitting out the information as fast as it's coming to me. And so now that when I teach tarot classes in person, I always wrap the class up with giving you a reading. It's always my fun to see how fast I can get all the readings done.
Yeah, because these are 3-card readings. This wasn't a 1-card draw. These were 3-card readings.
Uh-huh.
So he is rapid fire explaining pointing out what the card is, what the card means, and what the reading is, and what the reading means.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had recorded it. I think there were only like 2 people who actually got a reading.
No, they all got
like
readings.
That could actually process it.
Uh-huh.
Like the whole entire reading, beginning to end, as short as it was, but process that much information.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It was a moment. I was like, and he finished class in 20 minutes.
Actually, I finished it in about 17. I had 3 minutes to the next event.
Yeah. We were all impressed because, see what had happened, for those of you who weren't there and missed the show where we talked about this. See, someone, Lady Gwendolyn, paging Lady Gwendolyn, if you're here, please stand up. Someone gave him a microphone and then was surprised when the 1-hour allotment for the event that he was doing with a microphone became 1 hour and 40 minutes long. And we had to pretty much form a small semicircle behind the gathered attendees and go,
they were enjoying it.
They were. Everyone enjoyed it. They did. But it was like, okay, but seriously. Brenda, quote, it's going up. I turned on voice recorder on my phone in our class in case Jen or I didn't process it.
Which is awesome.
Good choice. Great choice. Beautiful choice.
Yeah. And for those that come and get readings from me, and it's a high-paced event, feel free to tape me, videotape me. I don't care. I have no problems with being on the record.
Yep. As long as that's what you want. As in you, the client. Like, and that's any reading.
Right.
I mean, he's not doing naked readings yet, so, like, we're good with any reading.
That ain't happening.
What?
That ain't happening.
Okay.
All right. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show.
Oh, Brenda says they didn't even need it. Okay. Fair enough. I wasn't sure if anyone got anything. I was struggling. I was just sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, that's all I could keep thinking was, what the fuck is it doing? Like, my God. Like, I'm sorry. It was, when I say it was funny, I don't mean like it was embarrassing or anything like that. I mean, it's just one of those moments like where you're gobsmacked, like, oh my God, he's doing that. Okay, he did that. All right. But yes, we have come to the good night portion of the show. And of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors. We really do appreciate you guys. We love your support. We love our baristas. And specifically, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Giss, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, and Charles Shaw. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our Patreon sponsors and receive all the wonderful benefits that our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. And just a reminder to our baristas, we have our Zoom meeting on Monday at 8 p.m.
Woohoo!
Yes. And you'll be cutting out halfway through, which is perfectly okay.
Sorry,
you have an
guys.
appointment.
I do.
Yeah.
Should we tell them?
No, I'll talk to them about it later.
Okay. Alrighty.
Alrighty. We hope you guys have enjoyed. Get some rest. Have a great weekend. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask where you think you need to. And if you haven't gotten shot, go get shot. There is a new variant out, and we will be probably talking about that in the news as soon as we have more information about it. Till then, good night, y'all.
Good night.
This is the calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me now.